What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am here today with the Flow Ninja himself, Mr. John Liu. How's it going, buddy?
I'm good. I'm good,
Good,
John.
good. And so today we have a bit of a special thing happening. So in the past, John has been with us to show off his flow hacks and connecting flow to Minecraft and doing some of the most creative and cool things, the wizardry, the ninjas things. But today, you're gonna show us your baby.
Yes.
Yes, so John has been working on a product for those of you that don't know called Flow Studio. He'll give you all the details on it, but wanted to give him an opportunity to get in front of all of you guys and share this with you. So John, go ahead, introduce yourself, and then go ahead and hop into your presentation and show us what is Flow Studio.
Cool. I will introduce myself. I'll share my screen. My name is John. I'm based. For those of you that don't know me, I'm based in Australia. Uh, I really love Flow. I see it as a way to automate everything, every product that I work with in Office 365. Um, and for nearly about a year now, just over a year, I've been working on a third-party product to help with creating and managing the Microsoft flows I make. So this is a quick presentation. It's called the best Flow Studio features that will save us time. And the whole idea of Flow Studio is as makers, we make more and more flows. They are wonderful flows, and they're probably they're business critical flows. But as we make more and more of them, it takes more and more time to maintain them. If you need to update 5 of them, you have to find them, go into one individually and update them. So you can get there's so this tool is written to help us save a lot of time. And I'll just dive right into it. And first, I'll show you what Flow Studio looks like. So Flow Studio, when you go to flowstudio.app, you should sign in with your Microsoft account. It will ask you, hey, I want to read your Microsoft flows. And when you log in, you will see most likely a screen that looks like this. This will show different environments that you have access to, and then the list of flows that are basically in your environment. Now, I want to point out a few really cool features here that at first glance you might think, oh, what is that? I encourage you to look around and just kind of slice and dice your flows and get a good feel of it. But I'll point out some of the cool stuff. The first two is in these 2 columns here. We can sort by number of runs. So if you're looking at a lot of your flows and you're not sure which ones have run quite a bit, the ones that run all the time are probably the most business critical. So even just going back into your list of flows and quickly have a look at what's been running a lot, that could sometimes tell you if you have an accidental infinite loop or a recurrence trigger that's running too frequently. You'll be able to see this. Flows that have a high run may use up all your run allowances every month. So that's something that you should occasionally go in and have a look at that. Another one is this last ran. So last ran will actually show you the flow that has just ran. Literally, for me, it's literally minutes ago. So there are a bunch of flows that I run whenever people use Flow Studio. It triggers these. So these two are quite interesting columns. Um, and then tied to that, the runs I generate this thing is called a sparkline, and it gives you a very quick way of seeing uh, errors that are in your flow. So the red ones have been erroring. This is the new flow I've been working on and haven't got success yet, so still red. But in general, you'll see a little bit of red and then you'll go green. And related to this, so this is the flow screen, and this is actually available for everyone. So even if you're not a subscriber, you have access to this screen. Okay, it's kind of my gift to all the makers.
Your freemium.
This is my freemium model, right? There's
That's
something
right.
free that I could get people to try all the time. Then the trial applies to all the other paid features. but this part is always free. You can always use this. So the next screen is this one. This one I want to quickly show. A lot of people use the first screen, the flows, which is that one that we were looking at, and they're not really sure what's going on in the second one. The admin one is using a slightly different permission. This is used if you are from IT or if you have been granted the environment admin permission. This will let you see all the flows within your environment. So this includes flows that you are not owner of.
Got
So
it.
as admin, you might be able to say, no, I want to add myself as the owner to this flow, so make that a team flow. Um, the same, so it's still fetching, a bit slow this morning. But the same sort by runs and the same spark lines are available. So if you're an IT admin and you wanted to look at some of your busier environments, so this you still have to filter by environment. You can quickly see, oh, within this environment, what's going on.
Got it.
Yeah, so this is still fetching. It's gonna take some time. It's reading all my environment. I might leave that running or come back. Now, another cool feature, this is a new feature that I've been building. This feature is called Flow Studio Deploy. So I call it deploy. It's for initially copying out your flow to a bunch of different flows. And I show you an example here. I have a flow here that's designed for a SharePoint document approval. And after the approval, let me just click it. Ooh, I get the new UI.
Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nice.
so on the document after the approval, I want to send a message to Teams.
Okay.
Okay, so after the approval, send a message to Teams about the status of this approval. And if I quickly show you, so this is linked to my Dev John site, to the documents library. But if I show you the pick code, the trigger has two parts. There's a URL to my SharePoint site. And then unfortunately, the name of the list is not used. Instead, we are using the list GUID, so it's like a hidden ID.
Okay.
Um, that's in the trigger. Now you
Got
can
it.
also define variables like John. So send email to this person, john.liu@flowstudio.app. Now, in the deployment plan, we pick the starting flow. So on the left-hand side, I use the same one. But on the right-hand side, I want to say, create a copy, but change the URL from sidestep John to Funky. And then that list GUID in the Funky side is actually a different one. So as flow makers, we may have to go and figure out, our SharePoint what the IDs are. But this is something that we set up once, and you set up a series of sites. You save your plan, and then let me just make an actual change. What can I do to change? Compose here? No. Let me maybe let me just add a compose here. I want to make a change and then show when you deploy, it gets copied to all these.
Okay.
So we're just gonna say hello, John. We'll save that. Yeah, it's saved. And then let me just run the deployment plan. So this is starting. It's gonna deploy this template, apply these string replacements, and then copy over those four. And you see it's actually done it quite fairly quickly. This is done. So it's actually refreshing. And you can use this to create new flows. So I didn't show, but on the right hand side, if you don't pick existing flow and you just type a new name, it will actually create a new flow. So down the bottom, it will create that.
Nice.
And then after you deploy, the deployment plan remembers this mapping. So the whole idea is that you could come back, change your original flow, and then reapply them all over to your new ones.
Gotcha.
So this one is refreshing. It's actually refreshing all the environments and all the flows because it wants to make sure I can map them. It's also reading all the connectors, so that's why taking some time.
Gotcha.
I probably made this a bit quicker. This part I'm still in kind of a preview testing phase. So give it a try. I haven't put it under the paywall yet. So this is the this is the right time to try this. Give me a lot of feedback. Another feature that we put into Flow Studio, this is both in the flows and in the admin screen, is we add these hashtags. So a maker can use multiple hashtags to group their flows. You can use the SharePoint Saturday events of SPS tag. So these are demos that I've done before in an SPS event. There are some demos or examples that are specific to the Microsoft Graph
That's helpful.
that I do. Yeah. So we can add new custom tags. Tags can be emojis because emoji tags are cool.
Yep.
They can also be colors. Let me see. Do I have color? Yeah, I have a color red. I wanted to do more with this, but I wanted to color the whole thing red, but then it becomes unreadable. So I
Yeah.
backtracked on that idea.
Gotcha.
So that's that. That spinny should not take that long. So sorry.
That's all right.
That I did notice there was something else odd about admin, so I'm not sure why that was taking that long. But let me show you which one that was funky, right?
Yep.
So if I click it and go in, so this is the funky one. This is not the same as the template. You see the compose has been put here. It's hello John. But this URL and this document, this GUID, they're being replaced.
Okay.
So the whole idea is that you could copy the entire definition, and you're not restricted to 4 times. You could copy 50 sites if you want. And each time it will replace those specific things. Also, I replaced the variable. So there's a variable that was supposed to be John, replaced to support. So if we
Okay.
look at the variable inside Funky, it's now support.
Nice.
So that's a new feature Flow Studio Deploy is to help you manage creating that one-to-many and then keep them up to date, right?
Yep.
Because we always update that original template and we need a quick way to stem them out. And yeah, like there are ways to build it with some Flow connectors, but you have to be pretty good with JSON to build that in with using Flow connectors. So we sat down and say, well, let's build a tool that could really help the makers
Totally.
take care of this stuff. So
Especially for SharePoint, right? If you have lots of lists, lots of sites, this makes it
yes,
easy to just deploy across all of them.
yeah. So that's our thinking. We
Yeah.
are also thinking to work with. There are more work that we are still working on. This part I show the connections. You can't really remove them because imagine you remove the SharePoint connection, it's not going to work, right? So
Right.
when it copies, if it sees a missing connection, it adds it anyway. So
Gotcha.
that remove doesn't really do anything. But the whole idea of this part is we want to be able to select a different environment. So you may be in a dev environment and you want this to be in a prod environment. So then these connections will have to be switched out to the prod connections available in the prod environment. So
Makes
there's
sense.
some work to be here. These will turn into little drop downs that you can select different connectors available for that. And then still save the whole thing as a plan. So imagine in your new environment, you have multiple connections, maybe using different service accounts. Then you can configure the right one, save that, and then every time you redeploy, it keeps those connections
Got it.
as the mapping.
Got it.
Yeah, so a bit more work to do here, but when we wrap up that connections, this whole feature will come off the trial phase. We think that will be
Nice.
a pretty compelling story at that point. Yeah.
Awesome.
And it finally finished spinning. But the spinning is really just refreshing. Updating this flow, we're basically just saving a definition. Updating is actually really quick. It's afterwards when I was refreshing all the connections, refreshing all the plan,
Yeah.
that's still taking too long.
Makes
So I
sense.
figure out where I could shortcut that. But the deploying is actually really quick. Yeah. So that's how many features is that? There's one more. There's one more.
Yep.
When you click into, let me look for a SharePoint one. And then let's go for the one, trick this one. So you can click on the spark lines and it will take you right into the runs. Now, with every flow run, you could see the trigger JSON. So the JSON data, the data that represent what triggered this flow. And we know that, hey, this is a SharePoint trigger. So we can make sense of some of the default values. Like we know SharePoint items have an ID, and we know it either has a title or it has a file name. So from this trigger data, we pull both an ID and either the file name or the title out. So imagine you as a maker and you know how come my flow on this item or this file didn't run? What happened to it? You could come into here and then filter by that file name. So you can quickly say, what happened to my, invoice, invoice file? So you
Gotcha.
can filter that. And then this part, so that will show you the latest 50. These will help you get more runs. So basically, imagine in the Flow Maker portal, you can go to next 50, next 50, next 50. But each one, you kind of have to click into them to see which one are you, which one are you. So
Yep.
with this, it basically click the next 10 pages, goes and read them all, and then while applying this filter. So if
Got
you
it.
knew, hey, what happened to my 15151, you could lock the filter on 151 while you go and fetch the next 500. And it will just show you the three, and you'll know, oh, that's the one that fell. And if you click here, it will take you right into that run. So that one is what I call the detailed run, like run with context. If you come back here, it's mainly to improve this part. Because if we look at all the runs, it's not possible to say which one is the run that I'm looking at,
Right.
right? There's just, I mean, here there's 7, but imagine if you have hundreds of this, you can't figure out which one to zoom in.
Right.
So that one is called run with context. You will, because of the number of requests it does call, the first 50, that's the default page. That part is free, but getting multiple runs while keeping a trigger locked is a premium. So this menu is a premium part. That's just refresh, but this one is a premium part.
Okay.
Let me just wrap up there. I think that's enough features. There's a lot of little features. I think an enterprising person that likes to kind of just look at the tool and find out more secrets. There's a couple more that would be quite interesting. So let me just quickly jump through this. We did last run. We did the hashtag. Sparkline is cool. Runs with context.
Yep.
And one-to-many deploy. So that's the 5 features
That's
that I
perfect.
think would be super cool.
No, it's good.
And
I
I thought,
think what I love
yeah.
about Flow Studio is just, a couple of the things that you've done, I think that give you more visibility. I love the main screen, the freemium part. I think it just gives you more context as to what's happening in your environment. And
Yes.
then I really like the deploy part. I think that, for any SharePoint admin that's governing multiple tenants, multiple sites, for any consultant, it seems like a no-brainer, that this would
Mm.
make sense for them for sure. So how much does Flow Studio cost a month? What is your subscription?
Currently it is $10 a month.
10
Um,
bucks. That's it, huh? A
ten
couple
dollar
cups
a
of
month,
coffee.
and you get a small discount if you're subscribing a whole year,
Okay. Right on.
US 100.
Yep.
Um, yeah, you should get in that price quick. People are telling me if I finish deploy, I should make that price higher.
You should, because the deploy feature
I
is
think the deploy,
valuable.
yeah. So I think, but I do want to honor all my existing supporters. So if you're on previous subscription prices, those will be honored.
You gonna
Um,
grandfather people in?
Yeah,
That's
I want to
good.
do that.
That's nice. Right on.
Hmm.
Awesome. So, and they find you now. If people want to get started with Flow Studio, what's the website?
Yeah, so they should go to flowstudio.app. Yeah,
There you
try
go.
flowstudio.app.
Awesome.
Always a free offering, always a premium product. So some people tell me, oh, they never tried it because they think they have to pay to use it. No, no, no. There's always that free tier right at the free screen, and
Yep.
even the free screen you can see the last run and the number of runs, and those are already very useful.
Totally.
Yeah, and we build a subscription to add more features that will just save a lot of time.
Because
So you can, yeah.
well, I think people should know. Like this
Hmm.
is John is trying to make this his full-time gig. He's focusing on this, and so every dollar, every subscription means a lot. And I'm sure he listens to every bit of feedback. I know he's very passionate about Flow and about Flow Studio. And so, if you are deploying SharePoint flows, it's a no-brainer to lock in at that subscription price. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, man,
Um,
John, I appreciate you coming and hanging out and showing us Flow Studio. It's awesome, man.
Thank you, John. So
Cool.
try Flow Studio.
Yes, try it. Get in contact with John. His information is there. Connect with him on LinkedIn. Follow him
Yeah.
on Twitter. If you don't follow him on Twitter already, you're missing out because he does these threads, these tweet threads, where he just does flow life hacks to show you how to get around things and do patterns. And he uses flow like not many people can. So definitely follow him there. And if you have feedback about Flow Studio, there is
Yes.
his email. Shoot him that. I'm sure he is vigilant in checking that.
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Cool.
Great features, great product. Awesome to have you on. Thank you, John, for showing us this. And to everybody out there, you know what to do. Go like, go subscribe, go follow John. Much love from me. See you in the next one.
Bye.